Here's Shay Norling.
Boy, someone recognizes Shay in public, and he doesn't want to take a photo.
All right, ESPN's Seth Walder wrote up the off-season grades for NFL teams. He gave the Bears a B+.
Yeah.
Wrote that the one-year rental trade for Keenan Allen would typically not be a good move, but if you're in a win-now situation, why not go for it? He said if Caleb Williams hits, this is a go-for-it move, and the team will be a legitimate contender. So shot or no shot, if Caleb Williams hits, the Bears are a legit Super Bowl contender in 2024.
It's a no shot. It's an overreach. This all started with Nick Wright on FS1 because he just wants to be ahead of it. And this is one thing I can't, you know me, Chris. You know I hate this.
Yeah.
When you go over the top and when the athlete or the team underachieves, then you kill them for the next 6 months. That's not right. You'd rather just say, and I know that doesn't get clicks, but you'd rather say, I see the Bears in the playoffs and incrementally they'll get better than to go all the way to the top and overshoot and say, yep, Super Bowl team, just because you changed the offensive line and have a new quarterback and have a new offensive coordinator, that means it may lose Super Bowl. No, it doesn't work that way. It does not. And so when the Bears don't make the Super Bowl, they suck. They need to fire their coach. What is this polls doing? This Williams told you they should have stuck with Fields, all that stuff. I can't do that.
Yeah, you just described the art of setting up your takes so then you can come back on the other side.
Absolutely.
Right? So you can set up months of content for yourself because you're going against your own opinion because of whatever takes place. There's a lot of that in hot take TV culture.
We just gave away the magic trick for some people.
That's what it is. You set up the take one direction, so then when it doesn't happen, you can then be outraged at that product for not coming through based on your opinion, which was wrong in the first place.
That was the magic show on the CW, the secret magic tricks on CW at 9 o'clock. Here's how they really cut the woman in half.
That's what it is. All right, so let me answer the question, Shay. Hits. What are we talking about with Caleb Williams? If he hits
4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns.
30 touchdowns, and he is, at the end of the season, are we saying he's a legitimate star?
Yeah, he's Rookie of the Year.
On way to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL?
Rookie of the Year, Pro Bowler. We're talking about him the way we're talking about C.J. Stroud or Jordan Love right now.
100% shot. And I'm not setting up one way to go back the other way. I think this defense is good enough, and if they get quarterback play like we're talking about that we just laid out, if hitting is 30 touchdowns, Pro Bowl caliber, star in the making, one of the best quarterbacks in football, yeah, this team will have a chance to make a run this season. Absolutely, if they get that from the quarterback.
Well, I would say that if that's going to be the case, then Eberflus has to be the doorman at the Four Seasons. Get out of the way. Just open the door.
Yeah.
Because if it comes down to his X's and O's and his lack of clock management, I love the revisionist history with this, by the way, also. The idea that, well, the team's ready because Eberflus, because he's sexy now the Bears are going to be better. No, that also matters.
Sometimes all it takes is a little sex appeal, a little drip.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was bad at end-of-half situations with timeouts. He was bad with using challenges last season. He needs to improve on all that. He can't hold them back if that's the case. If Caleb Williams hits, we can't be sitting around saying that the 2-minute drill was blown because Eberflus wasted timeouts early in the third quarter. You know what I'm saying? Like, there can't be procedural issues with the team if the quarterback is that good.
Here's Shay Norling.
All right, I got to ask about our buddy David Kaplan. He is in a bit of a rut right now, our poor friend. He badly needs to see a take go through the hoop. He told me off the air last week that the Pistons would never eat the money on Monty Williams after I said, I'm getting the feeling Monty Williams is going to be fired. Cap said, no way. They can't eat $65 million. He'll be back. Monty Williams got fired yesterday. Seemingly daily on the air, Cap and his ESPN bet reads is offering the Cubs as a play of the day. Every day that he offers them, they lose. The days that he's off and he doesn't offer them as a play, they seem to win, including the last 2 days. He had every single outcome on the NBA Finals except Celtics in 5. It was Celtics in 5.
Even the Cavs, by the way. He had the Cavs running.
He finally has his heel turn. Finally, on Dansby Swanson. Calls him Dansby Hayward the other day on Tuesday before he books it for his little vacation here. What happens? Dansby Swanson hits 2 home runs in 2 games. Shot or no shot, David Kaplan is a mush.
Yes, he is in a take slump, and that's why he's off the show for a couple days. I told him as a friend, get off the show. Go. I said, as a matter of fact, I said, do me a favor, get out of the country. How about that? Get out of the country. And that's why he's out of the country right now, because he's really in a take slump.
And you sent him north.
Yeah, that's enough. I think that's enough for Cap for a couple days. I mean, but not just wrong. We all get it wrong. I don't care about being wrong. Loud wrong. That's the worst. Loud wrong.
Loud wrong.
That
is
guy
great.
over your shoulder is. I do it in a way where I'm giving my opinion. I don't have to be over the top with my opinion. You hear it, you don't hear it. It's my opinion, right? But Shay is telling him straight out in a casual way. You would think Shay's yelling at him. He just kind of saunters in, lays against the wall, and goes, I've been hearing that Monty Williams might not make it in Detroit. There's no shot. No shot. Too much money. Take that.
Family man.
Loud, right? Family man. Can't do that. Fired yesterday. Fired. I mean, just like, Jimbo Fisher, way too much money. Shay says to him, yeah, you know, the Jimbo Fisher thing. I mean, there's a lot of oil money down there. They can buy him out. No way they buy him out. No shot. Fired. No longer with Texas A&M. That's how that works, man. I mean, he has to understand, and many have to understand, not just him, that in today's money, in 2024, whether you think it's a right move or a wrong move, if you don't want that person in your organization, you have plenty of money to buy him out. It sounds ridiculous, but Monty Williams, by the way, fired on Juneteenth. That's one. But 2, on the other side, happy Freedom Day to Monty Williams. He's out of that organization.
The Bulls have fired people on Christmas before.
Yeah.
Juneteenth is a new one.
They fired their brother on Juneteenth.
That's a new one.
Jay Moore, could you explain that to me? Jay Moore, could you break it down?
That's a new one.
Why is that? That's the first thing I saw, by the way. Woke up late because, you know, we're off yesterday. Monty Williams, it's Juneteenth. Holy, what balls is that from the Pistons? So it's a shot. He's in a take slump. Hopefully when he comes back, he'll be refreshed, he'll be replenished, and he'll be better.
I just love this idea that he's practicing his takes right now. He's getting his take shots up.
It's been bad.
At this moment, he's like working on them.
But
He's working on his form, trying to figure out what he can fix.
He's down in Radio AAA getting some at-bats.
Yeah, he's on the driving range of takes right now by himself.
We got to get this guy right.
Firing him off.
Incorrect on opinions is one, but just loud wrong. I mean, just going after Dansby Swanson as if Swanson hurt him. Oh, yeah? Stick this up your ass. How about that? How about that? And then, so that's what happened. Shay, can you squeeze in one more? No, we got around the NFL. Could you squeeze in one more?
Yeah, I mean, on the topic of Monty Williams getting fired in Detroit.
On Juneteenth.
It's the latest example of a highly paid coach being bought out of a contract to simply GTFO. Monty's owed $65 million on his deal. I believe the Pistons are paying all of that.
That's correct.
This is similar to guys like Jimbo Fisher, Texas A&M, Frank Reich, Carolina. Please get out. We'll pay you to leave. Shot or no shot, fired head coach has become the best job in sports.
It's the best grift going.
Oh, it's the greatest. You know why? Because you have endless opportunities on TV, podcasts afterwards.
Oh, my God.
You land the one head coaching gig, and then you can be a talking head for the rest of your life and make a lot of money.
I've not talked to you about this. I know that you've got connections in L.A., and I do as well. I don't know if you've heard about Reddick and how close that is.
Oh, yeah.
I have not made a call this week about it. Now that the head coach for UConn, Dan Hurley's not going to take the job. But, I mean, Reddick will be in the job less than 2 years if he takes the job.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, but I mean, whatever they pay him, he'll get paid handsomely. He can get right back to TV or that podcast or whatever. It's a great. If someone's going to hire you and they're not patient enough to keep you, ask for the moon. You know you're going to be fired in 2 years or less, especially if you go to a crappy organization like the Lakers or the Suns, Detroit, teams like that.
Unless the White Sox,
White
because
Sox,
it was reported that Jerry knew last year that Pedro Grifol should have been fired, but then they didn't want to spend the money. That was reported, right?
$1.5 million, by the way, they didn't want to spend.
Right.
$1.5 million.
That's
the
out there.
Pistons just gave Monty 65 M's to go fish.
Here's what I don't
White
get
Sox
about
won't
it.
pay Pedro $1.5.
The Pistons season ended on April 14th.
Correct.
What have they? 2 months have passed. What is going on? Like, it's very obvious to why the Lakers haven't hired a coach to this point, because they were waiting for JJ Redick to be done with his TV duties.
Yep.
But what are the Pistons doing? The draft is next week. Next Wednesday is the draft.
Piston?
What? The last 2 months.
Very bad organization.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
It took-
Their final game was April 14th against the San Antonio Spurs.
I can tell you exactly what happened. There was some jealousy there. That owner, who's the owner? I forgot.
Tom Gores.
Tom Gores. The owner was at a party, and they were watching the Boston Celtics win the championship, the ticker tape, everything else. And someone in the party told Gores, he was like, man, look at the Celtics. Look at them win the championship. And he got jealous and said, you know what? I need to change this right away. He got envious, knowing how bad his organization is, how bad his team is. It must be the head coach, because it can't be the young players and the dead bodies on that roster.
Constantly drafting in the top 10 and never hitting any of them.
It's got to be Monty Williams. He has to be the reason.
Well, they're also just a joke. I mean, season ends April 15th. It takes them a month and a half to hire a president of basketball operations, who then takes 2 weeks to fire the existing GM, and then takes another week to fire the coach. Like, the process just so slow.
It's crazy.
Around the NFL is next. Deal Breakers at 8:35. All part of the mix with Chris Black, Jonathan Hood with you, Kap J Hood on ESPN 1000 and